you're concerned about the condition of your garden beds and maybe thinking you might like to improve the health of the soil? Well, the solution might be easier than you think. And by using the right companion planting techniques, you can actually help restore and enhance the quality of your soil. And while I'm out here getting the garden beds prepped and preparing to do just that, so I thought it'd be a great time for the next video in our series all about companion planting. So in this video, I'm going to share 5 different companion planting combos, and we're going to talk about the benefits of companion planting to improve your soil health. In fact, some plants have the ability to improve the soil's structure, texture, and nutrient content and water holding capabilities. So as soon as I finish prepping this bed, we're going to talk about 5 companion planting combos that'll do just that. All right, so for the first combo, we're going to go with your legumes and your brassicas planted together. Now your legumes, such as your beans and your peas, as we've talked about before, say you plant bush beans with brassicas, like your cabbage or your broccoli, which have a high nutrient requirement, especially nitrogen, you can actually improve the soil's nitrogen content and the soil structure. So that's number 1 on the list. Now, if you can see behind me there, we're actually going to convert that over to fruit trees. So the second one on the list is actually comfrey and fruit trees. I'll probably try it with my fruit trees out in the front yard as well. But comfrey actually has a deep root system that helps break up compacted soil and bring up nutrients from deeper layers. So planting comfrey around the base of your fruit trees can actually improve the soil's nutrient content for the trees, as well as the soil structure and water holding capabilities. So comfrey with fruit trees is number 2 on my list. Now the third one on the list is clover and corn. You know, clover, a lot like your beans and peas, has nitrogen fixing capabilities and will also help the soil structure. So planting clover with corn, and corn, as you know, is a real heavy feeder of nitrogen, will actually help feed the corn throughout the season. And now I'm also actually planting some clover right here in this bed as well to get this prep, and I believe I'm going to put cucumbers in this one this year. And another great thing about clover, it's actually pretty good weed suppressant as well, so that'll definitely help as well, being underplanted under the corn. So number 3 on the list is clover and corn. Now the 4th one on the list, I bet you'll never guess, is actually alfalfa and carrots. See, alfalfa has deep tap roots as well, which will help break up compacted soil and help improve its water holding capabilities. And as a matter of fact, I've got carrots planted under there right now. I just planted them 3 days ago. So in about a week, those should be ready. Those should start popping, and as soon as they do, I'm also going to plant in some alfalfa in between the carrot rows. So alfalfa and carrots is actually number 4 on my list. Now the 5th one on the list, we've actually talked about in other videos, and I'll probably say it again before the season's over, but it's actually marigolds and tomatoes. Now we've talked about marigolds as a trap crop, and we also know that they can repel pests, but they actually repel nematodes down in the soil, which are actually tiny little worms that eat on the roots of the plants. So not only do they help the plants from that standpoint, they actually help improve the soil structure, nutrient content, and water holding capabilities as well. So they have to make number 5 on the list, even for soil building. All right, now I'm going to give you the list of 5 cover crops that I like using. All right, so the first cover crop we're going to talk about, and I already mentioned it over there, I'm using it, and that's crimson clover. Now, like I said, crimson clover is known for its nitrogen fixing capabilities, which improves the soil fertility, of course, but it's also great for weed suppression and can add organic matter to the soil structure. Now the second cover crop on the list is winter rye. Now winter rye is a cold tolerant crop that can help add organic matter to the soil and help prevent erosion. Now the third one on the list is in fact buckwheat. Now buckwheat is a fast growing cover crop that can be planted in summer. It has deep tap roots that can break up compacted soil, and it attracts pollinators and beneficial insects. Now the one thing about buckwheat, and really any of your cover crops, is you can't let them go to seed. If you let them go to seed, then you're going to have problems just as if they were weeds. But buckwheat is a great cover crop, and definitely one we'll be using right here in the garden. Now the 4th one on the list is hairy vetch. Now hairy vetch is another legume that can fix nitrogen into the soil and improve soil fertility. but it also provides great weed suppression and adds organic matter to the soil as well. And then the fifth one on the list is the daikon radish. Now the daikon radish is also known as the tillage radish, and it has deep tap roots that can actually bring up the nutrients from deep down in the soil to benefit the other crops. Another cool thing about the daikon radish is, additionally, the decaying roots can create channels to get down in and improve the soil quality. And then here's a cover crop blend that I'm using, and I'll leave the link for all of these right down in the description if you guys want to use them. And I'm going to use this cover crop blend over where I had my tomatoes in the big hoop, and I'm going to actually get it prepared for some perennials and some berry bushes over there. So this blend consists of wheat, triticale, peas, hairy vetch, collards forage, daikon radish, berseem clover, yellow mustard, and balanza clover. So that should be a great cover crop to get that soil prepped up. And that's going to go right over there here in just a few weeks. I'm using the tarp to kill off the weeds that I let take over a little bit last fall. So we're just getting that prepped here in a couple weeks, quick and easy. You like it that way?